Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith, OBE, Minister for Communication and Works, Honorable Mark Vanterpool, Mr. Otley Crabb, Representative of Autland Heavy Equipment Company Limited, Mr. Dion Crabb, Representative, Autland Heavy Equipment Company Limited, Mr. Cliff Williams, Representative, W&W Reliable Construction and Project Management Services, senior public servants, members of the Ministry of Communication and Works, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this signing ceremony. Today we are about to witness the signage of two contracts. The first contract will be between the Government of the Virgin Islands and Autland Heavy Equipment Company Limited, which we will see the continuation of works on the projects funded in partnership with the Government of the Virgin Islands and the Caribbean Development Bank. This contract represents works to be undertaken on the National Disaster Infrastructure Rehabilitation Project, in particular the Ballast Bay Road Restoration and Drain Solution. The second contract will be between the Government of the Virgin Islands and W&W Reliable Construction and Project Management Services for the continuation of the National Sewage Program, in particular the continuation of works on the Eastern Langlook Sewage Project. I am aware of the eagerness of the communities affected by the inconveniences that have been caused by these projects and the works to be undertaken. And therefore, without further delay, we will move straight into the signing of these contracts. We will sign first the contract between the Government of the Virgin Islands and Autland Heavy Equipment Company Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed the signage of 2 contracts that will continue works on the rehabilitation and the development of the infrastructure of the Virgin Islands. At this time, we will call on the Honorable Minister for Communication and Works, Honorable Mark Vanterpool, to give us a few words.
Thank you. Premier, Honorable Dr. Yolanda Smith, Krabs, Williams, ministry staff, other ministries, Premier's Office Ministry, GIS Group, press. I'm told by my acting permanent secretary in my ministry, Mr. Anthony McMaster, that I will be very busy over the next few months, hopefully the next few years, verifying and signing contracts as we intensify our action on a number of infrastructural development projects in the territory. And I can see that he means business, as does the government of our Premier, Dr. Yolanda Smith. Exactly 1 month ago, I stood here and reported that 2 of the Caribbean Development Bank, or the CDB-funded projects on Jos van Dyke had been completed using local funding. I also indicated that work had commenced on additional projects on the island of Jos van Dyke and also in Cane Garden Bay in the 2nd District. The project in Cane Garden Bay, for example, began in January and is expected to be completed by July of this year. It involves the construction of 2 retaining walls along the steep hill leading into the bay. The low wall is to restore and rehabilitate the road network, protect the lower portion of the hill, and to prevent any further erosion. The upper wall portion of the hill is to protect the main road network from landslides. When I stood here exactly 1 month ago on February 25th, government inked the first major contract with G-Unit Construction for the Pleasant Valley Road and Bridge rehabilitation. I am pleased to report today that work started over the weekend on this project, which involves the demolition of the existing bridge deck and the center wall, raising the concrete bridge abutments, and building a new bridge deck at a higher elevation. These works also include the regrading of the road approaches to the bridge, as well as the construction of new drainage along the Pleasant Valley Road and the section of the Drake's Highway back to the existing sea outfall near Naniki. Today's contract signings between the government of the Virgin Islands and Autland Heavy Equipment for road works in Bally's Bay, and the government of the Virgin Islands and W&W Reliable Construction for the East End Sewer project are equally significant. On July 20th, 2010, torrential rains caused the roadside slope to fail at 3 locations between Bally's Bay and Cane Garden Bay. The scope of works for Autland construction in Bally's Bay involves 1, the installation of a riprap system for slope restoration, which will repair the damage and prevent further deterioration. The reinstated slope will be grassed over, a method of construction considered a green approach to soil stabilization. This method also eliminates the need for mass concrete fill and retaining walls. 2, removal of and replacing the road surface in affected areas in this area. Here, a reinforcing membrane will be pinned in position and laid across the regraded area. Selected boulders will be seated on the membrane and become an integral part of the slope stabilization design. And 3, drainage improvements and installation of crash barriers. Autland construction is expected to take approximately 4 months to complete this project at the cost of $633,000, 737 and 32 cents. 633, 737 and 32 cents. For those who are writing. As part of the National Sewage Program, the Eastern Sewer Project involves the installation of approximately 6,000 feet of 18-inch gravity sewer pipeline along Blackburn Highway from Chapel Hill to Fat Hogs Bay. Upon completion, it will collect sewage from various communities in East End, including Red Bay, Chapel Hill, The Sound, Parham Town, Long Swamp, Major Bay, Greenland, Little Licks, Long Look, and Fat Hogs Bay. This contract, signed here today with WW Reliable Construction, is approximately 1,800 feet of that 6,000 feet and will cover between Chapel Hill and Parham Town Road. When in service, this pipeline will collect sewage from the communities of Red Bay, The Sound, Chapel Hill, and Parham Town. The estimated duration of this project is approximately 3 months, and the contract value is $1,447,851. That's $1,447,851. Work is also expected to restart on the National Sewage Program in Road Town within the next month or so. These works will concentrate on the area surrounding the roundabout and will be executed by a series of petty contracts and purchase orders. This will ensure that more contractors are afforded opportunity to participate in the development of our territory as we go along. As Minister of Communications and Works, I would like to reiterate this government's desire to see all of these projects executed to the highest construction standards on time and within budget. This government remains accountable to all of the people of the Virgin Islands who put us here, and we are determined to work in the best interests of our people. My Permanent Secretary, Mr. McMaster, has informed me that there are 3 other tenders now being advertised, 2 for Tortola and another for Virgin Gorda. One is the Thomas Land, which consists of the construction of a retaining wall structure with reinforced concrete counter-fort wall, along with rehabilitation of the road pavement. The second one is the Fortune Gut, the construction of a culvert crossings and road rehabilitation. And 3, the Lee Road rehabilitation of both the pavement structure and the drainage improvement on Virgin Gorda. I know that the Virgin Gordans will be happy to hear this, as they are anxiously awaiting the beginning and completion of this project. Tender documents for these projects can be collected until Friday, 4th April, from the government's procurement unit located in the RFG place in Road Town near the roundabout. In the meantime, other areas to be rehabilitated in the coming months include Nottingham Estate, Harrigan's Estate, Windy Hill, Huntham's Gut, Horse Path, Pockwood Pond, Long Trench, Johnson's Gut, Cox Heath, Carrot Bay, Brose Bay, Seacoast Bay, and Upper Free Bottom. At this stage, I wish to once again publicly commend the entire team at the Ministry of Communications and Works involved in the preparation of these contracts. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed, and I encourage you to continue to strive for excellence and do your very best as we collectively work to develop these beautiful British Virgin Islands. Before I close, I want to reiterate that the Ministry of Communications and Works has a very aggressive plan for 2014 and 2015 to execute these road works, among others, and also projects in the areas of sewage, water, electricity, energy, city development, and ports development. And I must let you know that there will continue to be some inconvenience to residents, business persons, and visitors alike, especially as it relates to traffic, as these improvements are carried out. Through the Government Information Service and other media, we will continue to keep the public informed about these developments and any major interruptions that are expected to occur as we go along. But we do ask you to continue to bear with us, and we encourage you to look towards the ultimate aim of enhanced services and an improved utility and road network in the British Virgin Islands. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I don't think I could have done a better job at summarizing the projects and ensuring that the public was fully informed of what they entailed. Without further ado, I will also call on representative from Autland Heavy Equipment Company to provide us with some remarks on the signage of this contract, followed by Mr. Cliff Williams, representative of W&W Reliable Construction. Mr. Crab.
Good morning. Establish the protocol that have already been set. Ladies and gentlemen, I must firstly give thanks to God for this great opportunity. I must say thanks to my government for giving me the opportunity to do this project. It has been long awaiting, and I'll try my utmost best to do whatever is in my power to make it a success. I also like to encourage the government to look at the other projects that are coming up, for it's a strenuous undertaking, and we should all bind together to help each other. So I have been back on some of the other projects that are coming up to join force with smaller contractors to help bring them up to speed, because I know it's difficult for them. So with no further ado, I'll say thanks again for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity, and look forward in doing my best. Thank you.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Establishing the protocol already established. Wasn't expecting this, but just here to say thanks to the government for affording my company to get this contract, and we'll do our utmost best to do the job to the best of our ability and make the country proud of the job that we have done. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I think we have gotten commitments from both sides, that of the government and that of the contractors, to move forward with the rehabilitation of our infrastructure. At this time, we would like to give the members of the media an opportunity, a brief opportunity, to ask any questions that are burning that you would like to present to the minister or any of the contractors at this point in time. 5 minutes.
Crystal Kanek from the Beacon newspaper. Minister, you mentioned last year that you were a little bit frustrated with the pace. Are you more satisfied now? Like you said, last month there was a signing, 2 more signings today. Are you more satisfied with the pace of the development of infrastructure now?
Yes, I'm more satisfied, not fully satisfied, but more. And in everything, there are always constraints, and we accept that. So we're happy that we're able to get off of these projects, and hope that most important thing is to see them to completion to the satisfaction of the general public, so that we can have a better infrastructure to serve the community.
And as far as the East End sewage project goes, now with this latest contract, where does that put us in terms of having the whole East End sewage project getting done?
It moves us a bit further along. We wanted to get through the stage to get the pipeline down to Long Swamp and eventually through the pumping station there, continue on down to Paraquita Bay, where we expect to have the sewage plant. So it moves us along, and we're going to hopefully fairly quickly after this take the next step to move the pipeline further down, and hopefully over the next 18 months or so we can have a completed project. We're looking forward to that.
And just one more on the sewerage, if you don't mind. Can you tell us how progress is going on the Paraquita Bay plant?
In terms of sewage, we are trying to come to some finalizations on how that plant will be done. So we are in discussions about it. And once that's done, we hope to have it up and operating sometime by the end of next year.
Thank you. Good morning. The 5-minute duration has expired.
We'll give you 5 more.
Thank you. In terms of the overall completion of all these projects, are you satisfied, Minister of Communications, that you can achieve this goal before the next elections in particular?
Based on the program that we have planned, we expect to complete the phases of the project that we have within the next 18 to 24 months, and that's what we're aiming to do. And hopefully, if we're not complete, somebody else will complete them, whether this government or another government. But we are intending to complete the projects, is the answer.
And with respect to those on Virgin Gorda in particular, you mentioned that residents, they are looking forward to the completion of Lee Road and so forth. Can you guarantee that the tender documents now out, maybe signed, rather completed very soon, approved soon, and the project will be out and construction work can actually begin before festival or after festival?
That's a good question. But I do believe that the tender documents that are out now, I think it was the 4th of April, was the date they expected to. So we're hoping that by sometime in April, I don't expect that there will be any major thing happening before festival in Virgin Gorda, obviously, but hopefully after that we can fairly quickly address that Lee Road that we have there by dealing with the drainage. And following that, we hope to spend some time with some good overlay of the road that is there. There will be need for some continuation of the drainage further down later on, but we want to be able to complete the drainage through the CDB project and then look at a complete overlay of the road that is necessary in that area.
Premier, if I may extend the 5-minute duration a bit further. You have heard comments about an apparent lack of funding to ensure that these projects are carried out that you've listed in the 2014 budget. Are you satisfied? Can you guarantee the territory that there is enough money to handle all of these projects?
Many of the projects will be loan funded, and those loans have been approved in the medium-term fiscal plan, and also in the budget, and it's just a matter of having those loans negotiated and put in place.
Okay, thank you all very much. I think those were some very nice, interesting questions that would help to further spread the awareness of what is happening within the Ministry of Communication and Works, and it would also provide the public with an understanding as to where we are and the schedules that we're working with, and we're most grateful for such opportunities to ensure that the public is fully versed in what is happening within the Ministry of Communication and Works. With that said, I would like to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule this morning for joining us here at what we consider to be a very important and significant milestone in the government of the Virgin Islands as we move forward with the rehabilitation and development of our infrastructure. Thank you all for coming here, and I wish you all a blessed day as we venture back out into our individual offices to continue with the works ahead of us. Thank you all very much.